Retro.
Hi, this is Fred Tatasciore, and you're listening to Dennis and Jay on Podcast Stardust. The Force is strong with both of them.
Welcome to Podcast Stardust. This is the fully armed and operational podcast dedicated to Star Wars news, reviews, and discussion. I'm Dennis Keithley, and you'll be hearing from my co-host Jay here in just a moment. We have had an interesting week here with the holidays, and so we were unable to get together to record like we normally do. So Jay's going to ask some Revenge of the Sith trivia questions as part of our ongoing trivia series that we do for the movies each year as we're reviewing them, and she'll have her son Kolby as her guest. So instead of me putting the trivia questions to Jay as I usually do, it's going to be her putting these questions to Kolby. So I wrote all these questions when we were getting ready to discuss the segment, and I was looking forward to torturing Jay with those, but like I said, just couldn't make it happen this week. And so we're running on a very unusual schedule here in December compared to what we normally do. But before we get too much further, I want to remind you, you can find the podcast at social media pages on Facebook and Instagram at Podcast Stardust. And then with that, I want to say, this is line, the signal's boosted to maximum output, the shield is down, and we're now broadcasting to Galaxy. So here is Jay talking to Kolby about some Revenge of the Sith trivia.
This episode of Podcast Stardust will feature trivia questions from Revenge of the Sith, as has been our ongoing series this year on Podcast Stardust. But normally Dennis would ask me the questions, and we're shaking things up a little bit by having some different guests on for our trivia. So joining me this evening is Kolby.
Hello, everybody.
And if anyone out there has listened to Podcast Stardust for any length of time, you know Kolby from my referring to him as my son Obi-Wan. And he has also joined us on Podcast Stardust before, back in episode 594, to talk about Jedi Survivor.
Oh, I remember that.
And that was all the way back in July of 2023.
Wow.
Can you believe it's been that long?
It's been a while.
So, first of all, thank you for coming on and coming in clutch for us here.
Oh, of course.
And
my pleasure.
Well, it's my pleasure as well. And so just to pull back the curtain a little bit, Kolby is actually home on break from college. So I'm very, very grateful that you were able to carve some time out of your schedule here over the holidays and jump on with your mom here.
Me too.
Well, thanks, Kolby. So this is going to be part 9 of the trivia questions. And so this is the part of Revenge of the Sith that covers the timestamp from 1 hour, 33 minutes and 38 seconds to 1 hour, 43 minutes and 43 seconds. So the episode that actually covered this was 943. Which dropped on September 24th of 2025, and our guest for that was Ross Holleben from the Album Cockpit Podcast and also Fantha Tracks. So we're going to be picking this up shortly after the newly appointed Darth Vader arrives on Mustafar. But before we get into the actual questions themselves, Kolby, I thought it might be a little bit of fun to put you through the same ringer that we put our guests through when we actually do the segments themselves, mainly because I'm a little selfish and I kind of want to know your answers to these, because you and I have done a lot of Star Wars over the years.
I'm ready.
All right. And our experience together seeing Revenge of the Sith was pretty special this last year when we got to see it in the theaters back in April when it was there for the limited run. So I'm always very grateful for those experiences. So I have to ask you, all right, Kolby, so you were very, very young when Revenge of the Sith actually came out. So I know you didn't get to see it in theaters until it came out just this last April. But what are your earliest recollections of Revenge of the Sith?
Oh, I know the Starfighters especially. I really liked the opening space sequence. I remember for Christmas one year I asked for a Starfighter of Obi-Wan, and it was that specifically. General Grievous, big impact. I know my brother loved General Grievous. He's one of the main characters that I remembered growing up from that movie. And of course, the fight sequence between Anakin and Obi-Wan, everybody knows that is one of the best sequences in that whole movie. Of course, at the time, I didn't understand the emotional depth that went along with it. It was just kind of cool flashing sequence while they're moving, really cool. And my brother and I, let's go outside and try that with our lightsabers, And then as I grew up, I started to understand the more deeper meanings and connections in real life and all of those things and the innuendos of the human condition. And it's truly special, of course. I'd say that's my earliest memories, though.
Oh, that's awesome. And I appreciate you sharing that because, Revenge of the Sith, well, the prequels in general were kind of your entry point to Star Wars growing up, that and the Clone Wars. So it's really cool to know from your perspective because, of course, as a mom, I have my remembrances and recollections and memories of those kinds of things. And, of course, one of my greatest memories, and I have a picture of this, is you clutching the DVD clamshells, if you will, of the different movies, and you were just always so mesmerized and loved watching those.
Yeah, love that picture.
So if you had to pick a favorite scene from Revenge of the Sith, what would it be?
Oh, that is such a hard question. I was not prepared for that.
Game time decision.
Yeah, can I say the whole movie? Is that allowed?
Well, if you're anything like me, and I know, we're often of the same mind, it just depends upon, what kind of mood you're in that day.
Yeah,
and,
that's true.
What kind of, like, as you said, emotional weight. But, what's one, I know you said that the fight scenes really had a lot of impact on you, the Starfighters, General Grievous. So, any one of those?
It's gonna be very basic, but just the whole fight sequence between Anakin and Obi-Wan and flashing back and forth between Yoda and Palpatine's fight and seeing the similarities and how the cinematography of being able to portray both of those fights happening at the same time. And just now, of course, knowing that all of those events leading up to that fight was happening at the same time as the final episodes of the Clone Wars series. You can watch the first part of the movie, then you can watch some Clone Wars episodes, and then you can finish the movie, and it's all pretty seamless happening at the same time. And I think just knowing that, especially now that whole part of the movie is now my favorite part of the movie, just because of the way that you can watch it, knowing everything's going on at the same time. It's just really cool.
I'm totally with you. I love all the Order 66 splicing together,
Yes.
that people have done, because, some of that editing has been super masterful.
So cool.
For sure. So who would you say is your favorite character in Revenge of the Sith?
I'm going to talk for a while here about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Go for it, Kolby-Wan.
Well, I love Anakin. It's hard not to love Anakin, of course, but I think Obi-Wan is just the epitome of resilience, and I've always thought that. He lost his father figure and master in Qui-Gon, his one true love in Satine, his best friend, brother in Anakin, and the disappearance of his good friend Ahsoka from his life, not to mention the entirety of the Jedi Order, obviously. And quite frankly, if anyone has had the excuse to turn to the dark side, I'd say it was Obi-Wan, but he never did. Even when he defeated Darth Maul, the one nemesis that he could have chosen to hate with all of his might, he instead chose to hold in his arms in comfort as he took his last breaths. Most Jedi, especially someone like Ki-Adi-Mundi, do not feel deep emotion. And I know a lot of people say Anakin is such an amazing character because his emotions feel very human, but I think the same can be said about Obi-Wan as well. He's very easy to connect to because he has allowed himself to experience love, loss, triumph, defeat, and all of the things that help shape the human condition. He experienced everything a man could experience, lost everything a man could lose, and still remained steadfast in his good nature. If anything, that's something to look up to. So, yes, Obi-Wan is my favorite character without a doubt.
Nice. Oh my gosh. That is a very eloquent answer.
Oh.
Wow.
Thank you. I rehearsed that.
I love that about you. And I will say, you know, one of my favorite memories also is going to Chicago in 2019 with you and having you meet James Arnold Taylor, of course, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That was surreal.
Yeah.
I almost forget that happened sometimes. And then I see the picture, I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, that happened.
And we've been very fortunate to have James do some bumpers for us and whatnot as well. So, yeah, Obi-Wan, Kolby-Wan.
Oh,
definitely.
yeah.
There's a little bit of a connection there.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
So let's get into the trivia.
Oh,
All
geez.
right. So once again, this is part 9, 133.38 to 143.43. So here's your first question, Kolby. How many clone troopers does Yoda defeat by throwing his lightsaber at them at the Jedi Temple?
1, just by throwing his lightsaber. I think he defeats 3, but just from throwing his lightsaber, I'd say 1.
Nice. Yes.
Yay.
Indeed. Yeah, he sinks the teeth in, so to speak.
Nice.
All right, number 2. When Bail Organa joins Padme on her platform in the Senate chamber, who else is with her? So there's 3 people that are in the Senate chamber with her.
3 people other than her and Bale?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, oof. I'm going to assume Jar Jar's there.
Okay, that's 1.
Okay.
Think about...
Captain Panaka?
You're close.
Oh.
Someone else in the Royal Guard.
Uh-oh. I fear I do not know.
Okay, and then there's a 3rd, though. Think about who might accompany Padme on her daily rounds, so to speak.
Oh. C-3PO?
No, that's a good guess, though.
Okay.
It's a good
I didn't
guess.
think he was there, but, you know.
So you were close. So you had Jar Jar.
Okay.
It was Captain Typho
Oh.
and one of her handmaidens.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of a name.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good. I know. It's like trying to get that visualization in
Yes.
your head. Okay, so what is happening in the chamber at that time?
Chancellor Palpatine is declaring himself emperor and declaring the Empire as being the new ruling government, and this is when Padme says democracy dies with thunderous applause.
Oh my gosh, you are my son. As Dennis would say, you can almost anticipate some of the questions coming up. But before that even, so when Bail gets there, Padme says he is doing what? The Chancellor is doing what specifically? He is...
Oh. I don't know.
Elaborating on the Jedi plot to overthrow the Republic.
Yep.
Okay. In response, what does the Chancellor say will happen to the Jedi now? The remaining Jedi
Will be hunted down and defeated.
undefeated.
Defeated!
Yes.
Uh-huh.
All right. So back at the temple, so we're kind of going back and forth here now, of course. What oddity does Yoda notice when he and Obi-Wan enter the Jedi Temple?
That the younglings were not killed by clones, but with a lightsaber.
With a lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
They were. All right. Good job. Okay, number 6. Which 2 people appear on the Chancellor's platform with him when he addresses the Senate after the alleged Jedi coup? So there's 2 people standing on either side of him.
I just know that one guy looks like a blue guy. I honestly don't know his name. I'm so sorry.
No, his vizier.
Okay.
Which is, you know his name?
No.
No, and then the other one?
It's a girl
Uh-huh.
that does not show up any other time in any of the movies. I know that. I don't know her name.
It's all good. So it's Masamita
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yep.
and Sly Moore.
Slime or... Okay, yeah, that rings a bell.
There
Yep.
you go.
Yep.
There you go. All right. Number 7. What does the Chancellor say the Jedi's attempt on his life has left him?
Scarred. Deformed.
Nicely done. Yes, indeed. All right, number 8. What does the Chancellor say the Republic will be reorganized into?
The First Galactic Empire. Oh, yeah.
Nice. There you go. So you got this part.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
All right. Complete the second half of this statement by Padme Amidala. I think you kind of already did this. So this is how liberty dies.
With thunderous applause.
Nice.
You quote that all the time.
I do. And number 10, what does Newt Gunray, so this is back on Mustafar now, we're going back to the whole thing there. What does Newt Gunray tell Anakin that Lord Sidious promised them?
The war is over. He has promised us peace.
Nice, good job. Dennis will definitely approve of all the impersonations. And every time I hear that, I always think to myself, oh no, he promised you in pieces.
There you go.
There you go. All right, number 11. What did Obi-Wan do with the code at the Jedi Temple?
He recalibrated it to warn all remaining Jedi to stay away from the temple.
Okay, here's a nice bonus question. Where did he get that idea from? You may not know this.
I think I do know this, but I hate that I can't think right now where it's from.
Think of animated series characters.
Oh.
It actually happened in a book, but I know you. I
know what it is too. You're gonna have to tell me.
It's all right. It's from the Book of New Dawn.
Okay.
And it was actually Kanan Jarrus. So
Caleb
Dune.
Yes, because you told me this. I remember.
As a youngling. That's all right. It's all right, Kolby-Wan. You're all good. All right, so number 12. What does Obi-Wan want to do before leaving the Jedi Temple?
He wants to check the security footage.
Right? Check the
Yes.
security recordings. Good. And what does Yoda tell him he will find if he does check them?
Only pain and loss? Is that
Only pain.
only pain? Okay.
Yes, if go into the security recordings, you go. Only pain will you find. So that was number 13. Okay, so number 14, what does Obi-Wan discover when he watches the security recording? So 2 things.
He discovers that Anakin was the one who killed the younglings.
Yep.
And the Jedi in the temple.
Good.
And he also discovered that Anakin was the newly appointed Darth Vader by Sidious.
Yes.
He was kneeling in his office.
Good. And what does Palpatine send him to do then?
He sends him to Mustafar to kill the Confederacy.
And what does he say that's going to result in?
Bringing peace to the galaxy?
To the
Empire.
There you go.
Okay.
There it is.
Yep.
There it is. All
Same
right.
difference.
Good job. All right. 15. You got a 50-50 chance here.
Okay.
True or false? The Emperor calls Anakin Lord Vader in the security recording Obi-Wan watches. You already answered this, so.
True.
True. Yes. It is true. And which Sith does Obi-Wan request to fight? So he asks Yoda.
He asks to fight Sidious because he will not kill Anakin.
Okay. And why doesn't Yoda approve of his request? So this is number 17.
He says that he's not powerful enough to fight the Emperor.
Good. He isn't strong enough. Good job.
And I still think that if Yoda was the one to fight Anakin, I think Yoda would have killed Anakin. I think Obi-Wan would have died to Sidious. It would have been a completely crazy story, and I think we need a what if on that, but that's a side note.
There you go. Yes. And Dennis and I are very fond of our what ifs as well. Yes, I know we could go round and round talking about that. Just like if Anakin had actually accompanied Mace Windu to go and
oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
The entire story would be different.
Whew, there's a whole rabbit hole of things that could actually have happened. That's for sure. All right, so number 18. Why does Obi-Wan say he can't do it? He can't kill Anakin.
He's like a brother to him.
Yep.
Yeah. Exactly.
And number 19. How does Yoda tell Obi-Wan to find Anakin?
Didn't he just say go to the Mustafar system? Because it was on the recording, wasn't it?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No, because Obi-Wan says, I don't know where to look. I don't know how to find him. I don't know where to look. And Yoda tells Obi-Wan to do what? use
The Force. No.
more personal to use.
I'm honestly, I'm at a stump here.
It's all right. Take your time. Use
Your heart.
close. You're almost there. Use your feelings.
Feelings.
And find him you will.
Oh, yep. No. Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. Hey, are you kidding me? Like, you're doing really great here.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
And all right, number 20. What is Padme's response when Obi-Wan is in grave danger? What's the first thing she says?
She asks if Anakin's okay, right?
Well, he goes to Padme's apartment and he says, Anakin is in grave danger. And her first response is to ask, what? Picture them in the apartment together.
Does she ask where he is?
No.
Hmm.
She knows where he is. Remember?
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause he
no,
told
you're
her.
right.
Anakin is in grave danger.
Oh, I don't remember what she says.
From the Sith?
From the Sith. Honey, she is the Sith. He is the Sith.
And for number 21, what is Obi-Wan's response to Padme when she says, from the Sith? He says...
I don't know why this whole conversation is slipping my mind. I can picture it. I bet what they're talking about is slipping my mind.
Sitting on the couch. And he says, from...
The Emperor.
himself.
From himself. No, that makes sense.
That Anakin has turned to the dark side.
And she doesn't believe him.
22. What is Padme's response after Obi-Wan outlines how Anakin became Palpatine's apprentice? She says...
She doesn't believe him, and he's lying, right?
Right.
Yep.
And she says, I don't believe you. And then she says, what addendum to that? And she's almost breathless when she says it.
Are you going to kill him? Is that what it is? Or is that not?
You're
that's
getting
not for
there.
a little bit. I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, you're fine. I do this kind of stuff all the time. She says, I don't believe you. I can't.
I can't believe you?
Yeah, I can't.
I don't
she
believe
just
you.
says,
I can't
I
believe
can't.
you.
She
Oh.
looks off and I can't.
Okay.
Okay, number 23. What does Obi-Wan guess as he is departing Padme's apartment? He stands up and he looks back and he says...
He's the father, isn't he? And
Yes.
he says, I'm so sorry.
Yes. Good job. All right, another true or false question. Anakin's eyes are yellow as he watches the lava flow after killing the Separatist leaders on Mustafar. So we go back to the shot of him.
This is a true or false?
Mm-hmm.
That's false.
That is false.
Yes.
Indeed. And I've always wondered why that is. You know, why does he have the yellow eyes in the one shot and then not?
My thoughts on that is that because at that point in time he was still wrestling with it. It was kind of a tug of war. It was on one side, and then when he's looking at the lava flow, he's crying in that sequence. I think he's feeling that guilt, and I think that there's something to say about somebody forsaking their own humanity to save the ones that they love. I think on paper that's a very selfless thing, but obviously, as we know, what Anakin did was very selfish. And I think he knows that in that moment. And I think he kind of, in that moment, I've always kind of viewed it as he knows what he did was really wrong. And he kind of hates himself for it. And that's why he's crying, because he's feeling that guilt.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, this is another what if. Like, if Obi-Wan didn't get on Padme's ship, could Padme have turned him back to the light in that moment? Because he was still struggling with it. But I think, you know, seeing Obi-Wan aura farming on the ship just filled him with so much rage, obviously. And their whole fight, there was no going back after that. But I would say that's why his eyes weren't yellow there, is because he was still struggling with it.
And I would definitely echo that. And I believe that was almost, I wouldn't say identical, but it's very similar of an answer that I gave during the segment recording as well. Yeah, so we're also on the like mother like son. Yep. There you go. And you're also reading my mind again. So, because we're getting there to some of these. So, number 25. When Padme is leaving Coruscant to find Anakin, who asks to go with her? So, they're on the landing pad, and she's heading towards her ship. Who asks to go with her?
That's Panaka, right? Oh. I don't know.
Same as earlier.
Oh, Bale?
Captain
Typho.
There you go. Is
Panaka dead at this point? Is that a dumb...
No.
Okay, I was like, am I stupid?
Yeah, no. You're good. He just was not featured in this
Yeah.
particular, this particular part of the, who knows what he's got going on.
Wow.
So, I mean, there's some books that might point to that, but that's another story for another time.
Fair enough.
All right, so who is the only one that Padme knows that is actually going with her? So
C-3PO.
Yes, good. And then, obviously, you know this answer for number 27. Who sneaks aboard Padme's ship?
Obi-Wan.
Yes. Number 28. So this is back to Palpatine and Anakin here. So what does Palpatine tell Anakin he has accomplished after he has killed the Separatist leaders?
He has brought peace.
And you have brought peace and...
Justice.
There you go.
Nice.
To the galaxy. Nice. Number 29. We only have a few left here.
Okay.
Who does Palpatine tell Anakin to send a message to at that point?
The rest of the Confederacy to shut down the droids effective immediately, right?
Right. Yes. So you also just predicted my next question.
Sweet.
Yes. So number 29 was, who does Palpatine tell Anakin to send a message to? The answer was the ships of the Trade Federation. And then number 30, what message is he supposed to send? And the answer was to shut down all droid units immediately. Nicely done. And then our last question, whose ship does Anakin notice is approaching Mustafar?
Padme.
There you go. And that actually brings us to the end of this segment. So let's see how you did. Okay, so if I added these up correctly, no promises here, you got 28 correct out of a possible 32 points, which gives you an 88%, Kolby-Wan.
I am a B student after all. That checks out.
Hey, I'll tell you what, you did a lot better than I do on some of these trivia. And it's hard because when you're not the one sitting there with the questions and the answers right in front of you, it's easy to blank. Like I always say, I'd be terrible at Jeopardy.
Oh, yeah. Like normally I think I would probably know that whole conversation between Obi-Wan and Padme. I just, in the moment, I still can't think of it, unfortunately.
Well, and too, we always say it's easy for us when we isolate those 10 minutes in each of our segment discussions because you spend so much more time with that particular line of dialogue or that particular scene than you do when you're sitting down to watch the entire movie in its entirety. So yeah, you did great. Nicely done.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on this very special edition of Revenge of the Sith Trivia for Part 9. And once again, if you would like to go back and listen to the episode that we did cover, that was episode 943, which dropped on September 24th of 2025, as I said at the very beginning. So thanks again, Kolby. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. May the Force be with you,
And
Mike.
may the Force be with you.
Thank you.
All right, there you have it. That was Jay and Kolby with this installment of Revenge of the Sith Trivia. So thank you all for joining us for that. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we're going to try and get the rest of those Revenge of the Sith Trivia questions wrapped up sometime in the next couple of weeks. So if you want to make sure you get those, please consider subscribing to the podcast if you haven't done so already. We're available on pretty much all of the platforms. And then we would also appreciate your ratings and reviews wherever it is that you listen to your podcasts. And if you're looking for the entire back catalog, you can head over to RetroZap.com, where all previous 982 episodes can be found, as well as some other great shows that are on the RetroZap Podcast Network. Then from there, if you want to find us on social media one more time, those contacts are on Facebook and Instagram at Podcast Stardust. And then Jay's set up some Pinterest pages for the show. The episodes are available on YouTube and YouTube Music. And you can reach the show by email at podcaststardust@gmail.com. We're looking for listener questions. I haven't had some for a while, but we want to do a listener question episode sometime soon. And then if you want to look for things like Podcast Stardust t-shirts and other pieces of apparel, head over to TeePublic. We got a link in the show notes for that. So, upcoming on the show, good question. I don't really know. We are wrapping up the year. Hopefully we're going to get 1 or 2 episodes done before 2025 ends, but then we'll be back in 2026. We've got our preview for the year coming up, and then we're going to be doing some fun things like New Year's resolutions for various Star Wars characters. So make sure you stick around for that. Okay, that'll do it for episode 983 of Podcast Stardust, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend, and until next time, may the Force be with you.